Hi there, my name is Michael, which is a noun. Michael is a proper noun. That's my name, which makes sense because noun comes from the Latin nomenclature, which means to name. Some other versions of a noun might be a pronoun like I or he or she or you or we. Still a noun, still naming people, right? Maybe you don't know who they are. Maybe you say the person or the dog, right? It's fun when a dog is a noun. But you see, these are actually geometric colored shapes that were taught to me in the first grade in a public Montessori school that really helped me understand the nuts and bolts of our language at a really basic level. And given the literacy issues we have here in Metro Jacksonville, even in Nassau County, I thought it might be worth trying to share what I can remember from the first grade. So the thing I always really liked was nouns, adjectives, and articles were all different blue triangles. That's the way I learned it. I only have so many markers. There's different rules. Use whatever works for you. This is how I learned it. This was helpful to me. This helped me a lot with my academic and professional career. But we have nouns, adjectives, and articles. They're all triangles. The way I learned it was a noun was a navy darker blue, adjectives were somewhere in the middle, and articles were more like a royal kind of cyan. Good example, the big dog, right? So the big dog. Article, think the word the and it's a small little article. It's a small little piece, right? Like an article of clothing. Adjective. Adjectives describe nouns. It was a tall man. It was a fluffy dog. It was a purple sky, right? So they're all triangles. They hang out together. They're part of the same posse, right? Then we got the circle gang over here. We got the hot colored circle gang. We got the verb. Verb comes from the Latin verbus, which means to speak. That makes sense. One of the most important verbs in any language is the verb to speak, right? Also, there's a spiritual angle there. Our words become our actions, become our life, become our reality. Adverb, just like adjectives, they describe, but in this case, it describes a verb. Easy way to do this a lot of times is ly. Like a lot of rules in English, the rules are meant to be broken, but a lot of ly words are adverbs that describe verbs. So we've got runs quickly. How did he run? Ran quickly, right? Hastily, readily. There's a lot of words that you can use to describe an action. A verb is an action. That's what it is. The noun is the name or the thing or the person that does the thing. And then there's descriptors that help make it more clear, right? So we can have a really simple sentence. He runs. That's a complete sentence. But who ran? What ran? What are you talking about? Well, it wasn't a person. It was a big dog. The big dog runs. Cool. So on the top, we've got noun, verb. Second line, we've got article, adjective, noun, verb. And then we get into a little bit more complexity when we start to include things like prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. So you can do just fine with everything over here. You know, you can see right here, he runs, that's a sentence. Preposition, think to, from, across, words like that. Conjunction, fun song, conjunction, junction, right? It's what it is, it's a junction, it connects things. And, or, however, words like that. Interjections, so I'll admit I didn't learn interjections so well in the first grade. To me, that's more of like a storytelling device that creates tension and helps gain people's attention. You're sort of telegraphing that you're about to say something interesting or important. So one of the best examples, as per Owen Wilson, might be, wow, wow. Now you might listen to me. What is this guy wowing at, right? So we've got the nuts and bolts of a sentence here. We've got nouns, so that's the name of the thing or the person. It's the what, right? It's the subject, it's the object, it's the things. Then we've got descriptors, adjectives, articles that help us understand more precisely what that is. And we've got verbs, that's the action. What is this thing doing, right? It's the verb. He runs. All right, and then we throw in the descriptors, adjectives, and adverbs. They go with them. They help us understand better. The big dog runs quickly, right? Majestically. A lot of good words. ly doesn't always work. Think heavenly cake. Heavenly cake, that ly is an adjective because cake is a noun. That cake is boss. That cake is amazing. It's tasty. It's scrumptious. It's amazing. But it's not an adverb. In that case, it's an adjective. So English is tough with the rules, but it's still a good hack. There's a lot of great ly adverbs. Preposition, to, from, across. Descriptions of the scene that help us understand with more precision exactly what's happening. Conjunction, combine two sentences together. Combine two thoughts together without having to write two sentences. Interjection, useful tool for bringing attention. Let's go through it one more time. He runs, subject, verb. The big dog runs, article, adjective, noun, verb. Now let's get really long here. Think about this. All three of these are describing the same scene potentially. Maybe we're sitting at on a bench and we're watching the dog run together and we just point at it and say, he runs. Maybe we're watching someone else. Maybe we're the people watching the people on the bench. And we point and we say, the big dog runs, because we don't know his name. We don't know it's a boy. And then if we want to say something really descriptive and make something beautiful, and this is like the melody and the flat out gorgeousness of our language. Wow! Are you listening to me? I used an interjection. Holy cow. I haven't said much and now I wowed at you? You're on your phone, you're not paying attention. Now you're paying attention. I said, wow! Okay, I'm looking at you now. What are you on about? You interrupted me. I was doom scrolling. Gus, my Great Pyrenees, is a big dog, and he runs quickly across the field to chase foxes. This could all be the same exact scene with different levels of language competency and skill in conveying exactly what is happening. That's why communication in our language is a really important thing. And different things for different places. If you're writing an essay, you get to have fun. You get to write these long, gorgeous sentences. If your dog's running away, you might just be like, Mom, he's running away. We gotta go get him. You know who he is. I'm not gonna say Gus the Pyrenees. There's an implied understanding that you know who the heck I'm talking about, right? But these are the fundamentals of how to build a sentence and how to communicate with other people who speak English, and in our case, American English. We can talk to the Brits, but they use words a little differently than we do. But this is really, really helpful. This helped build a foundation for me. This helped me become highly literate at a very young age. I learned this in the first grade. Why aren't our kids learning this in the first grade? They should be literate by the first grade. And one of the reasons why this was easy for me is look at this. There's different colors. There's different shapes. This looks like a PlayStation game. This looks like a cheat code. Triangle, triangle, circle, circle, square, keyhole, crescent moon. Come on. This could be fun. There's no reason to be intimidated by our language. It's your language. It's your native tongue. It's your patriotic duty to be able to speak our language and to speak it magnificently. All right, I hope you guys found this helpful. This really did help me a lot when I was a young man. I still use this today as a grown man, as a business owner. This is powerful stuff. Our kids deserve this. I hope this helps.